My name's Pete Dennis. I work for our Sternberg farms. I came here in 2002 on our Sternberg. In 2020 they stopped in-hand farming and Sentry came in, and I've been employed by Sentry since. I came here as a sprayer driver, combine driver, which I've been doing. Since being here we had a Clean Acres to start with, self-propelled, which moved on to a Schaefer Mirage, which we changed then for an Hauser Merlin, both all on 24-metre booms. And then the last change we've came up to swap the Merlin out for a John Deere 6250R tractor with a Deere R962i power spray. 36 metres, 6,200 litre tank on it. The sprayer's operated through the tractor screens, interface screens. I've got lucky enough to have two screens, one for guidance, which we're running on RTK. I've got a command, lucky to have the Command Pro, which I've also set all my main functions of the sprayer on. So once I'm activated, I can use that without having to use the sprayer controls. We can also integrate them onto the screen with certain other subjects, such as the section control for the sprayer, which is GPS, can be auto. We've got 12 of those at 3-metre sections. They can also be switched off individually on the screen if you don't need to use them all. But I generally run it all in automatic once in the field. Running around the 2,000 to 2,500 acres with crops of winter and spring wheat, winter and spring barley, winter oats following, I'm afraid, some failed rape, and we're looking at drilling linseed also. Sprayer wise, we tend to run everything from the yard. We've got a central tank and chemical store all on one place. So everything's run from the yard out to fields. General check over each day. Before I start, just have a look round, check that everything's in the place where it should be. I try and run within the limits with the manager. We try and plan so that we're not changing over chemicals too often. But should we need to, we tend to rinse out wherever possible. I do in the field, or I try not to have anything left too empty out in the field. But if I do, when I've got the capability of either diluting it within the sprayer box, I can add it so that we can dilute it and hopefully not overspray what we are actually using. Every now and then I'll I've got the luxury of having a power washer connected within the sprayer, so every so often, if I can, I'll use that to rinse the booms out in the fields, just give them a quick rinse off and nozzles. Another top tip I have is on all my fields, or our fields, I've made a note of the area around the headland for the 36 metres, so that if ever we need to go in and just spray an headland rather than the whole field, I've got an idea of the area that I need and require chemical, rather than putting too much in or not having enough. We've also put some flaps this year, mud flaps, on the back of the sprayer. Unfortunately, I think we might have just needed them slightly wider, but they do quite a good job. They save a lot of muck spraying up onto the sprayer, and also I think that stops some of the soil going through the spray pattern behind the sprayer. And also when it's unfolded, it tended to flick it up and gather on the framework of the sprayer also. I think I actually pinched it from a previous competition, is the rear 4 nozzles that sit behind the sprayer that you can't see, and also the first one on either side. I'll tend to take the 3 nozzles from the left hand side and swap them with the outside free on the outer section of the sprayer, so that when I go back out into the field I could see whether those 6 nozzles have been performing the same as the rest of the nozzles within the sprayer. The reason for entering the competition, it's a good question really. I sat there and looked at the questions and I thought, yeah, I'll enter it once more time, just give it another go and see what happens within this, and this will probably be my last time. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to arrive here again, and I think it gives the outlook as to how the large scale sort of down to the smaller scale compares, and we're all doing the same job but within different areas and different ways. So I think it's a way of learning, creating a way of learning.